I am Heidi Benjaminson, your host of Confidence Coaching, a podcast for mothers who want to stay calm, anchored, and like how they show up in the world. Life isn't a spectator sport. Success comes to those who show up every day with a pocket full of courage, grit, and a little sparkle. I'm glad you're here. Hello. Welcome to episode 184, Feeling Sad. How are you doing? Summer is here in South Carolina. It is wonderful. I love the warm. The humidity doesn't even bother me. This really is my happy season. Most days have the most brilliant blue skies, so I don't mind the occasional rainstorms. The contrast almost seems welcomed. Today, I want to talk about how to handle sad, either with yourself or how to help someone else when they come to you and they feel sad. This episode is coming directly from an experience I had last night. Someone close to me contacted me and said they were feeling very sad and wanted to know if I had time to talk to them. Luckily, I was able to stop what I was doing and have a long conversation. I felt very glad they trusted me to know I would validate and see their emotion and not dismiss it. I want to walk you through how we talked about sadness because we all have sadness and we all see our children sitting in sadness from time to time. Sadness is a very normal human emotion. In fact, without sadness, we wouldn't know happiness. We feel sad when we've lost something or someone. We feel sad when something is taken away. It can be triggered by a setback or disappointment or loss. Sometimes there's another more specific emotion under the sadness. And sometimes we just know that we feel sad, and that's all we need to know. Last night, when we got on the phone, my friend was crying, and I asked her to tell me about the sadness. Did she know why she felt sad? I knew from her text that she did know pretty much why she was feeling sad. I knew I wanted to validate and really talk about the sad. I wasn't scared about her being sad. I didn't think something had gone wrong. I didn't approach the conversation that I needed her to feel better. We began our hour just talking about the sad. She shared what she thought had prompted the sadness. I let her talk. I then said at times, yes, this is sad. I didn't try to get her to look away from her sadness. We looked directly at the sadness. We actually zoomed in. I asked her to describe more of how she felt in the current situations that are triggering her. I let her talk. I was very conscious I didn't want to make her feel any different than she did. Over and over, like I said earlier, I said, yes, this is sad. I didn't tell her to look on the bright side. I didn't tell her it would get better with time. I didn't tell her other people have worse losses. Instead, I validated and I saw her sadness. My goal was to metaphorically be sitting right next to her. Now, the irony is that this does help her feel better. If anything, she feels less anxious in the sadness. She can accept and process her sadness because I wasn't afraid to see her sad and just be with her. We talked about all the times she has felt sad about this loss in the past. We went through specific situations and she shared some details that I wasn't even aware of, even though I thought I knew a lot about the situation. Each sharing was like she was moving through this tunnel of sadness to get through it. If she could feel safe with me feeling it, I knew she would be able to feel it again and process it in a healthy way. I asked her at one point what color the sadness was. She said blue. I was getting her into her body to get comfortable embodying these emotions. I asked where she felt it, and I kind of thought that she was going to say her stomach because we feel so many emotions in our gut. She said she felt it in her heart, which makes sense. This loss has broken her heart in a lot of ways. So then I told her we were going to picture a blue heart inside her. This blue heart would be her sadness, and she wanted to hug it and give it love and compassion and make space for it. especially when it was getting big like it was last night. We talked to the blue heart. I wanted her to visualize this blue heart as an okay part of her. So when it comes up again, she isn't resisting feeling it or isn't rushing to get rid of it. This hurt, this loss is real and it isn't going anywhere. The key is to feel it, give it what it needs, and also not let the blue heart be driving the car. We talked about what it looks like when we act from a place of being mad about the loss or even being jealous of other people who don't have this sadness or loss. I told her that I like the emotion jealousy. It's an emotion that teaches us to look closer at something and see what we value. Jealousy often shows us that we value something that someone else has. It's okay. That gives us power to either get that thing or to learn from the experience. I wanted her to take responsibility and control over how she acts when she's feeling sad. I know for myself when I feel real sadness, I often need space from other people. It's just good to know what we need and feel empowered to get it if we can. Sadness, disappointment, so many emotions, of course, do not feel good, but they have a place in our human experience. We need contrast. We need the duality of good and bad. One interesting thing to note is that this friend's sadness wasn't actually being created by the actual loss. Her current sadness is being created by the stories and meaning she's giving the loss today. Her stories change over time, but each is a valid version and deserves a place. It's just really good for us to realize I can't feel what I felt in the past. I'm feeling what my body and nervous system are creating from remembering the experiences and telling myself the thoughts and stories now. Like I shared in last week's episode 183, knowing the layers of an experience. The third layer is a layer that always continues for this friend, the story and the meaning. She doesn't need to change the story now. It will change as she changes. As each version is validated and sees the light, my friend will realize she's stronger than the story and has the emotional muscles to carry the story with her. It's important that we don't tell people that they shouldn't be sad or should just get over it, whatever it is. Often this reveals that the other person isn't comfortable with our discomfort. Look for people in your life who can validate you and are willing to sit with the discomfort. Know who you can call with your sadness. My friend and I talked for over an hour. Much of it was her talking and me witnessing, me empathizing, me believing her experience was and is what it is. She didn't need to justify her sadness or give me evidence for how hard it is. I just believed her. This is all work I wouldn't have known how to do before learning specific coaching and nervous system tools and skills. These are skills my clients learn to use with their families and friends. We've all felt how bad it feels when someone won't see our hard feelings, and I'll be the first to say that there have been so many times that I didn't validate or I was quick to want someone to feel better. But now that we know another way, we use another way. And just as I thought, my friend told me how much better by the end of our call she felt. I witnessed the sad, I sat with her, and she processed it, and she got herself through it. She'll need to do this again. I will need to do this more in my life. We all need to know sadness doesn't last forever. We get to the other side of the tunnel where happiness can be bigger and more expansive in our lives when we go through the sadness. I hope this helps you being a witness to the sadness of other people and helps you be able to picture the blue hearts inside you and just love on them. Be sure you have signed up for the free video series on how to not freak out when you're ghosted by your child. Sign up on my website or maybe the link in my Instagram profile. That's it for this week. If you would like to see how coaching can help you navigate children leaving home with less worry and more peace, sign up for a consult call at HeidiBenjaminson.com or DM me on social media. A confident mother is the greatest gift to her family, not a perfect mother. Our families want us to feel confident, anchored, and calm. I can help you uncover this version of yourself. Have a great week.